Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something important. I want to talk about thrusting out. Thrust out. So, I did a recent lesson on launching out, but I really wanted to clarify thrust out. So, one of the problems that we have is too often we're in a situation where we do not create enough space between us and other people who may be relying on us for something, whether we're able to supply the needs of the person or not, in order to be able to offer this thing to them in excellence. There has to be a reasonable space where we thrust out. In the book of Luke, the fifth chapter, verse 1 through 3, we see where the people was pressing upon Christ for the word. I spoke about that there's a press in this season for the word. Now, even though Christ is the word, was able to give them the word, he was God in the flesh, so he could do whatever he wants. They wouldn't have been able to kill him or hurt him when they made that press. He found it necessary that he had to create a reasonable distance between him and everyone else to be able to supply their need in excellence. Whether you're going to supply their needs in excellence by creating that distance through going into a space or going to a person to get that break. Too often, most of us in relationships, in our jobs, parenting, we allow people to press upon us. We get so anxious and we spread ourselves thin. Thus, we're now unable or unable, I should say, to deliver within reasonable time, reasonable space, and we're definitely not able to deliver in excellence. The space that Yeshua was able to provide give him the ability not just to deliver in excellence, which is what teaching is. When you are now a master of something, you're able to teach something. So he was able to create that space between him and the multitude enough to where he could step back, which is thrust out, and sit down. Sometimes we need that room to be able to think, to go into our creativity, to go into our essence, to go into ourself, to go into our purpose. And you will find yourself in a relationship, you might have the fear of creating, especially in a marriage. Sometimes you have that guilty feeling to create that space between you and the person. Well, there has to be a moment of thrusting out. There has to be that moment where you can say to your husband or to whoever you're dating, I need to go out just a little bit in order to give you the best of me. Sometimes that little space, maybe a day, it may be 2 days, it might be just going to do your nails, do your hair, it might be just going to spend time with friends. Yeshua was able to step into someone else's space and be able to utilize their space for thrusting out. It wasn't even Yeshua that was driving the thrust out moment. So sometimes just having that person that you could say, would you like to go to dinner tonight? So that I can create a space between me and those that really needs me. And just being able to go with someone else, allow someone else to be the one that's doing the driving, and you just relaxing into that atmosphere. Sometimes you can stay from that same atmosphere and give people what they need. What do I mean by that? It's okay to have a family that needs you really badly, and you're able to tell them, just stay here, take care of you, and I'll go and take care of me so I can just sit back for a minute. And from a distance, you're still able to give them excellence. You're still able to call in and check in. you're still able to reach out just to make sure everybody in the family is good. Parenting, especially, this is necessary. It is necessary in parenting to thrust out. If you continue to let the kids and the husband press on you, you will become drained, because now you're not only using your energy for wife, you're not using your energy for mother, you're not using your energy for husband, you're not using your energy for father. You're also using your energy to brace yourself so that you can also stand and supply your own need. Sometimes you're in a multitude situation, in a space where, because you have what everyone else needs, they are not really thinking about your need. It's not that they want to not think about your need, but their need is so great, and they are able to fulfill those needs by reaching out to you. Same thing with work. You might be in a job that just demands so much of you. There's a press on you to perform. There's a press on you to give. There's a press on you to show up. There might be that time you need to take your day off, and your day off is your day off. Too often, some of us, especially in leadership position, we take our days off, but we take our days off to work. We take our days off and we bring work home. Now, in your mind, you're providing things with excellence, but I've seen myself in situation where I am trying to write a report or pull a report or put a report together, and I just can't seem to find the right numbers or get this report to go in the direction that I want it to go. And just by the mere fact that I stepped away to run to the store, step away to spend some time with my husband, or step away just to watch TV, I come back and the answer is staring me dead in the face. It's important that we thrust out. Same thing for school. You could find yourself writing discussion boards, paper, doing group project, and you are so overwhelmed with everything because there's a press for you to reach a deadline. You study, you stay up at night, you get your eyes to a point where they are overworked, your brain is overworked, there's a press. You are trying to balance so that you can produce. You need to just thrust out just a little bit from the homework project, enough where you could still see the work, where you still know the work is there, you still can meet the deadline. But I promise you, if you take just 2 hours and step away, that work is still going to be there. What you don't want to do is to overload your brain in such a capacity where you can't even think. And that is what Yeshua intended in verse 3. He sat down and taught the people off the ship, out of the ship. So he was able to go to another space separately from the space that the people was. The people was on land and he was in water. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is the vessel that you have chosen to be able to thrust out in? It could be a vessel of, I said it earlier, it could be a vacation, it could be a family, it could be a friend, it could be dinner, anything. I want you to think of a vessel, a place, a time, or a person that you can find the space to create a reasonable distance between you and that thing in your life or that person in your life that has been pressing upon you for that which they need. I did not say do not give them their need, because there's a press for a reason. But just the ability to thrust out so you could get a moment to step back, sit down, and become a master of it. Hopefully this was able to help somebody. This is thrust out season. Take care of you. Spend this time to take care of you, because no one is going to do it for you. The only person that loves you more than you is God himself. So the best place that you can thrust is to thrust in the presence of God. That is what I do. I thrust out, separate myself from everyone and everything in the space in my life when I have a major decision to make. The times when something major is pressing is the times that I thrust out the most. When I've gone through a major circumstance, when there's a major need on my life for something, and if I am in a space that mentally is just charging on my body majorly, then I at some point come to the awareness that I need to separate myself from the thing, thrust out, so that I can give back to that thing with excellence and the best of me. May God bless you in this time of thrusting out. Thrust out, beloved, thrust out.